Okay, day 18. So I caught up with myself, and I'm getting ahead of myself again now. It's only just said day 17, but I'm making day 18 video because while it's in my head, I don't know when I'm going to be together enough to be able to make a video like this again. So I'll do it now. Okay, so we go out into the spiritual plane, the sphere of Saturn, understanding. There is one tree where an older tree to this tree, where the eighth, this sphere was the highest sphere of the tree, the sphere of understanding. So in many respects, this is as high as you can actually attain on the tree and actually stay there in your consciousness. There's a connection with Saturn and the Earth. It's quite a grounding energy. So there is a good reason why people try to attain this level of consciousness. As I said in the last video, I think that for myself, I'd rather stay down on a lower level in the mental plane, in the sphere of mercy, on the benevolent side of the tree. That's just a matter of personal choice. If you want to, you can elevate up to this level. So I'll try to deal with it. Although I don't have any intention of hanging around here myself. I want to try and make it clear why there are benefits to coming up to this level. Because I think there's a level of like ultimate detachment, and as I also mentioned in the last video about people deliberately having bad lives, in order to not be attached to the physical plane. That's going to be a lot easier probably if you're in the sphere of understanding, in the sphere of Saturn, to do. So, and from an esoteric point of view, Saturn is the planet that does actually offer the most opportunities and benefits in many respects. So in some ways it seems to eclipse the benefits that Jupiter would provide, even though Jupiter is considered to be the greater benefic, like in astrology, and it's the planet associated with the sphere of mercy. You have to kind of make a personal decision whether you think mercy is more better than, understanding. And I don't personally. My choice is that understanding is not necessary. It's enough just to be enjoying everything a lot, and be happy and have power in it, and I actually consider it a kind of a sacrifice myself to stay in that lower sphere. It's like a choice, like a bit like certain of the Buddhists that they take this path of, like, rather than trying to achieve nirvana, you go back and sort of hang back just behind nirvana, and to try to guide the other souls back into nirvana and out of all the suffering, out of the illusion. So that's what I feel it's like when you stay in the sphere of mercy, as opposed to the sphere of understanding. So the way I see the sphere of understanding, actually, one of the ways of understanding it is to go to the planets. I'm probably going to have to deal with this on the way back down the tree again, while in this physical plane, because the planets, in your horoscope chart, around this solar system, I've been to all of them in my astral body, and I've got a lot of knowledge from going there. They're like schools. So for me, a great deal of my understanding about the planet Saturn and the sphere of Saturn and understanding comes from directly going to the planet Saturn in my astral body, and like going to a college or a university lecture, in a sense. But it's not necessarily like a university lecture. It's an actual, an astral experience. And what I understand is these experiences are different for each person that goes there. You've got your own personal lessons, and it's going to be connected with, you know, where Saturn is in your horoscope and stuff. And yeah, I mean, you can't just give people understanding just by giving a video. You've got to do the work. You know, it's one of the things about work, Saturn, and one of the reasons I mentioned those videos by that woman Lada Dancheva, because she goes into detail about all this stuff, and you couldn't really do better than that. Again, to, you know, study about Saturn in your birth chart, and what house it's in, and all the progressions, because that's going to give you a real lot of detail and grounding knowledge about this planet. So if you really want to understand it and get into that level, you've got to do that kind of work. You've got to understand your horoscope. Well, and maybe you haven't, but that to me is like a very good and useful and valid way of getting into it. Even if you just look at, you know, if you don't know your rising sign, just look at what sign it's in, you know, and you can use well, other types of horoscope to work with it without needing your actual time of birth. But yeah, it's like you have to do the work. It's a heavy planet, Saturn. It's a planet of responsibility. You know, you've got to do the work. You know, that's how you get the power, and you've got to be responsible for it. So you have to do the work. This is really all I can say to you about it.